Hey, what's going on, guys? Today's video is going to be about how to take apart a Dyson battery-powered vacuum and clean it properly, sanitize it. I just took this one apart up here, did the same thing. Now we're working on our Dyson here. As you can see, the front is very dirty. I will show you how to sanitize it. I will show you how to declog it. And let's go ahead and get started with this project. So the first thing we're going to do here is we are going to be looking at this section here, which is going to be the head of the vacuum. This again is the Dyson V6, but this method can apply to the V7 or V8 as well. You do have a push button right here that detaches it from the tube here. So what we want to do is we want to break it down to see where the clog is, to see what's going on, and to fix the issue. So we're going to go ahead and push this in, and then it's going to be a little tricky with one hand, but you push this in, separate this piece from this piece right here, and obviously pull them apart. Slips right out like that. And now let's go ahead and focus on this part first, and we'll work our way up. So the first thing we're going to do is, obviously, if your Dyson gets like this, unfortunately, I've seen this many times, this happens when you start vacuuming up wet stuff. So whatever it is, wet dog hair, whatever, it gets in here, and instead of being dusty and clear, it gets all faded and nasty because people are trying to vacuum up something wet. So if yours looks like this, we also are going to be cleaning this as well. So for the clog number one, we're going to look down here. Now obviously, as we can see there, that looks nasty. So what we're going to have to do in this case is we're going to have to get some needle nose pliers. You can use a flathead screwdriver, just making sure you're careful if you do use a screwdriver. What we want to do is we want to grab a hold of anything in there and pull it upwards. But we also want to see the wand here, the brush head. So we want to be able to clip all this off, use some scissors, a razor blade. We're going to cut all that off, pull that out, and that's going to detach from there. Then what we're going to do is we're going to use a flathead screwdriver, and it actually says to unlock, you want to go, it's kind of like IKEA, you just turn it to unlock it, and that's going to unlock this, and we want access to the head. So let's go ahead and do that. Hey guys, if you're new here, welcome. We have a lot of fun here. Smash that subscribe button down below and turn on your bell notifications so when fresh content comes out, you're the first to know. So I turned it counterclockwise, the notch here, and then it just lifts up from left to right, and then that is out of the way there, and we will be fully cleaning that as well. As we can see, there's a lot of nasty dust and debris all right here. We're going to go ahead and clean that out entirely as well. You can use gloves, you can use needle nose pliers, you can use whatever you want. And then over here on this side, this I actually already put out. As we can see here, it goes from lock to unlock. You can actually just do it with your fingers there, or you can use like a quarter, and that pops out there. So we go ahead and remove the brush, and that slips right off of the roller there, and that has better access if you need to remove clogged hair, etc., pet hair. And then we have this here. So this is a great time to go ahead and get in there and get all this nasty stuff here. I'm going to try to get as much as I can to clean out any clog. If I have a worse clog, we might have to dissect it even further, and you do have some screws on the bottom. You might have to take those apart. Those are very small T-Torx star screws, unfortunately, because they make them because obviously they don't want you to fiddle around with contraptions, because they want you to buy a new one. Let's go ahead and shine some light in there and see if we have a deep clog. So that is the culprit, and that's the reason why our society is so wasteful. And that would be an easy fix, but most people don't want to deal with it. So let's go ahead and get on in there and remove all that nasty stuff. I'll probably use a flathead screwdriver and carefully just kind of scrape it up as I'm pulling it out, going from both angles there and there. And then we'll move on to the tube portion and, of course, the filter. Now, if you feel like cleaning this top portion like I mentioned earlier, this is a little bit more of a headache, but not too bad. You need a very small, this is actually a T9 Torx screw here. These do work. This one is a Husky. I'll try to link it in the description box below the video. What we have here is you start out with the 1, 2, 3. Back here it gets a little bit deeper, 1 and 2 for a total of 5. I have them laid out right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you actually need to come back around here, remove the one here and there as well, And those I've laid out right here and here. And then what you're gonna do is a little bit tricky with one hand, but the front portion slides up, and then this portion, again, it might be really caked on there with dust, and then you have your seal as well. So I'm actually gonna have to do it with both hands here, but I do have my O-ring, kind of my seal there. I don't wanna rip that. And then that will lift out there. Once it is out completely, be careful, because you do have your roller head wires over there in the corner there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and set it to the side like this. Again, being careful as you clean it, don't pull those wires. You could resolder them back together if you do rip them, but you don't wanna do that. After we are done cleaning this, obviously just seat this seal back in the slot completely. The one over here to the left and the one over here to the right. We're gonna go ahead and clean this, all this nasty stuff right here. Now you have better access to the tube here if you do need to get that unclogged there as well. So we're looking really, really good right here. Now to finalize, to sanitize it, I'm using some 91% isopropyl alcohol here, and I will link that in the description box below. I have wadded up a paper towel. You can use toilet paper, you can use a cotton ball, anything you want to do, and I soaked it and I just ran it through. Now this will evaporate very quickly, so you don't have to worry about it, not to mention disinfect any bacteria inside of your vacuum, and that is looking absolutely wonderful. Just be careful poking it through. So what I did is I just took a long end flathead screwdriver. I shoved it down there. Make sure you have one long enough so that you can retract it or get it all the way through. Once it pops into this direction, then I simply took my needle nose pliers and removed it. I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit more right here where my thumb is. We're going to disinfect that a little bit more. We might even spray some Lysol disinfect spray inside here as well. Let that dry, evaporate, and then put it all back together. Okay, it's all put back together here, looking absolutely gorgeous. Look at, you see through, obviously it still is scuffed up because previous owner wasn't the best on the condition here. I was able to remove the white scuffs using the isopropyl alcohol and rubbing it down there. I also shot some antibacterial spray inside of the tube, and also I cleaned out this here. Again, isopropyl alcohol and some disinfectant spray, and I'm letting that air out right here as well. The trap door, everything, spit shine that. It's looking great there. Also check for a clog in this area here, and not to mention the tube here. It pulls apart obviously at the top here. Now finally, what we're gonna do is we need to check the filter here. I already had mine out, just popped straight up here. And if there is a clog in here, you want to knock that into a trash can upside down. I'm going to go ahead and take this upstairs, rinse this with warm water, let that dry for 24 hours, and then we will be putting that back together and firing it back up. Well, folks, the Dyson works like a champion now, sucking beautifully. Suction is there. Suction is powerful. It is clean. It has been used, and it is a wonderful, wonderful thing. Now, I didn't mention it in the video earlier, but I actually did find this dumpster diving. That's the reason why it was thrown out next to the dumpsters. People do that in apartment complexes, or they put it out on curb alerts for other people to grab, and it was a blessing. And again, this is just our society the way it is. If the suction isn't there as it should be when they first buy it, they're like, oh, it's broken, it's not good, not realizing how much junk was trapped in this area here. And not to mention, now I've spit shined it. It looks absolutely fantastic, so I could keep it, I could sell it, I could give it away. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that thumbs up button if you guys do want to see my dumpster diving videos. I find so many good things. That is always linked in the description box below the video, or search Binsberg Films, one word, on YouTube search bar. Again, look for those links below. Isopropyl alcohol, the Husky security T-Torx, Allen wrenches you're gonna need, etc. That will be, again, in the description box below. Take care. Don't let the party stop, guys. Hit one of these videos, continue to watch, and we'll see you soon.